Chapter 1: The First Physicians. The most ancient doctor known is the physician Imhotep, who lived 55 centuries ago in 3500 BC in Egypt. He earned fame in many fields as a politician, astronomer, architect, and physician. He designed the first pyramid, an elaborate tomb for one of the Egyptian pharaohs. Ancient Egyptian physicians worked harder at keeping the body free of decay after death than at keeping it free of disease during life. They believed the road to eternal life lay in preserving the body. They developed a very effective way to embalm bodies. Some Egyptian mummies are still around today. In addition to preparing bodies for burial, Imhotep may have performed simple surgical operations. But any breakthrough in medicine that he may have made are buried in the mist of time. We know his name and little else. A more famous ancient physician is Hippocrates. We not only know his name, but we also know other facts about his life and his medical discoveries. Plato, one of the best-known Greek philosophers, mentioned Hippocrates by name, as did Aristotle, another Greek scientist. They thought well of him, and they considered him the greatest doctor of their day. Hippocrates, a Greek, was born in 460 BC on the little island of Kos. This rocky little island is north of Rhodes off the coast of Asia Minor. Although he lived so long ago, we have a good idea of what he looked like. In 1933, workers uncovered on Kos a statue of Hippocrates. The statue shows him as a short man, rather stately in his robe, with a bold, courageous look on his face. He needed all the boldness he could muster to change how doctors practiced medicine. Other doctors based their healing art upon the belief that evil spirits, hateful demons, and vengeful gods struck people with diseases. Invisible arrows shot by the Greek god Apollo caused pain. One treatment for disease caused the patient to travel to one of the many pagan temples in Greece. The sick person made a sacrifice and then spent the night in the temple. As he slept, he was supposed to dream away the sickness. Hippocrates visited Egypt early in life and studied medicine there. He taught at various places, including Athens. Eventually, he returned home and began a school of medicine on Kos. Hippocrates taught methods that must have seemed strange to doctors who expected to treat their patients with chanting and magic potions. Hippocrates changed all of that. He believed every disease had a natural cause. Find the cause, he said, and then you can cure the disease. He perfected what today would be called a good bedside manner. He gained the confidence of his patients and put their mind at ease. Hippocrates instructed his students to find out as much as possible about the patient. Ask the patient about the symptoms. How did he feel when the illness began? Question him about what he usually eats and drinks. Did he change his diet? Allow the patient to rest, he advised. See that he is kept clean, has fresh air, and simple, wholesome food. This was good advice because doctors knew so little about medicine. Our God-given immune system gives the body the ability to often heal itself if it is given time to work. Older doctors simply couldn't abide by these new ways. They expected patients to make sacrifices to Greek gods and goddesses at the temples. The gods will be angry, these doctors warned. They will punish doctors and patients who dare to defy them. We know in detail what Hippocrates taught because his students made careful notes of his lectures. They collected the notes and published books in his name. More than 50 books carrying his name have come down to us. For instance, Hippocrates said, "Desperate diseases require desperate remedies." And also, illness is sometimes stronger if a mind is troubled. His study of diet also convinced him that one man's meat is another man's poison. In other words, the same food can make one person sick but cause no harm to another. Hippocrates also made changes to how physicians looked upon their profession. During his time, a doctor was sometimes bribed to ensure that a patient died, or asked to prepare poison to kill an enemy. Suppose a ruler wanted to be rid of a rival, he could hire a court physician who would see that the rival became sick and died. Hippocrates taught against such improper conduct. He told his students to treat everyone the same, friends and foes, rich and poor. Sometimes give your services for nothing, he urged his students, for where there is love of man, there is also love of medicine. He drew up a statement describing proper conduct. The pledge, called the Hippocratic Oath, is a guideline for honorable standards of actions. Medical students still take it upon completion of their course of training. The statement says, in part, I will use treatment to help the sick according to my ability and judgment, but never with the view to injure and do wrong. Into whatever house I enter, I will enter to help the sick. Hippocrates, the remarkable physician of Kos, is still, even today, considered one of the greatest physicians the world has ever known. His advice to doctors is still being taught in medical schools. He is called the father of medicine. The golden age of Greece ended when the Romans conquered most of the civilized world. Roman medicine aimed at helping society as a whole rather than individuals. They built aqueducts to carry fresh water, arranged for sewers to carry away waste, and built public baths for personal cleanliness. The most important physician during the Roman Empire was Galen, a Greek. A thorough knowledge of the body is essential to good medical practice. Galen believed that a physician needs to study the body as an architect needs to follow a plan. The Romans had passed harsh laws against dissecting human bodies. A doctor who dare open a body merely to satisfy his curiosity risked severe punishment. Galen dare not break the law. Galen traveled to Alexandria to study medicine. Alexandria was a Greek city established in Egypt by Alexander the Great. It was a Roman city in Galen's time. Alexandria boasted a museum and a huge library. It was the nearest thing to a modern university. At Alexandria, Galen could study 2 complete human skeletons. Later, he dissected animals, pigs, goats, and even apes. He described what he saw in careful detail. He learned a lot from his study of animals, but not everything he learned about animals could be used to treat humans. Galen returned to his hometown, Pergamon. There he served as a physician at a school for gladiators. Although the Romans forbade dissecting dead bodies, they encouraged professional warriors to hack themselves apart for the amusement of Colosseum crowds. Once the warrior died, his body could not be touched except to prepare it for burial. Galen repaired the injured fighters and learned firsthand about the human body. After 3 years, Galen traveled to Rome. He studied some more, and he wrote the first of his many books. He also took on his first important case. Eudemus, a well-known physician, suffered a mild paralysis in his right hand. He could not move his 3rd and 4th fingers. The best physicians in the city examined him. All of them failed to restore feeling to his fingers. As a last resort, Eudemus sent for Galen, the new doctor in town. Galen examined the fingers, and then he asked, "Did you injure your back or neck or strike your head recently?" Eudemus replied, somewhat puzzled, "Yes, I was thrown from a chariot. I struck my neck against a stone, but I recovered from the fall." "Not entirely," Galen said. "Nerves from the fingers connect to the spinal column in the neck. Your neck injury caused numbness in your hand. Galen treated the nerves in Eudemus's neck and not his fingers. Feeling came back. Before long, Eudemus could move his fingers again. He recovered completely. Galen's fame soared. So did the jealousy of the other doctors. He didn't endear himself to them by being very sure of himself. He was the best doctor in the empire, and he knew it, and he made sure everyone else knew it too. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor, hired Galen as his personal physician. The emperor summed up his opinion of his personal physician by saying, "Rome has but one physician, Galen." Though there were Christians at that time in Rome, in Pergamon, Galen himself never became a Christian, but he believed in one God, the creator of all things. He believed that the Creator designed every part of the human body for a particular purpose. According to Galen, the existence of God the Creator could not be dismissed once a person saw the marvelous complexity of the human body. He said, "Every man who looks at things with an open mind, seeing a spirit living in a mass of flesh and humors, and examining the structure of any animal whatever, will comprehend the excellence of the Spirit which is in heaven." Towards the end of his life, he returned to his home in Pergamon. He died there in AD 200. His fame continued to grow. His ideas did not die with him. He had written a huge number of books, about 125, of which 80 still exist today. His books contain a curious mixture of fact, opinion, and outright errors. With his usual cheerful self-confidence, Galen stated it all as fact. He did not keep apart what he knew as fact from what he merely believed to be true. Galen's effect upon medicine grew with time. His views came to be regarded as the final authority in medicine. During the Middle Ages in Europe, scholars avoided experimentation and direct experience. Instead, they simply looked for answers in Galen's books. His dead hand held medicine in its grip with a firmness never matched before or since. Number 1, true or false? The medical discoveries of the Egyptian doctor Imhotep are well known today. The answer is false. Number 2, the most famous ancient Greek doctor was A. Plato or B. Hippocrates. The answer is B. Hippocrates. Number 3, true or false? One of the Greek treatments for disease was to have the sick person dream away the sickness in a pagan temple. The answer is true. Number 4, older doctors predicted that doctors who followed Hippocrates' teaching would be A. punished or B. rewarded by the gods and goddesses. The answer is A. punished. Number 5, the Hippocratic oath for doctors is A. a pledge of proper conduct, or B. a schedule of prices a doctor should charge. The answer is A. a pledge of proper conduct. Number 6, the title given to Hippocrates is A. father of Greek philosophy, or B. father of medicine. The answer is B. father of medicine. Number 7, the most important physician during Roman times was A. Galen or B. Socrates. The answer is A. Galen. Number 8, the city of Alexandria was noted for its huge A. aqueduct or B. library. The answer is B. library. Number 9. Galen learned firsthand about the human body from A. Dissecting the bodies of criminals, or B. Treating injured gladiators. The answer is B. Treating injured gladiators. Number 10. True or false? When Galen went to Rome, he was put in prison. The answer is false. Number 11. True or false? Galen believed that the marvelous complexity of the human body pointed